All right, everybody, we'll kick this off. So we're in week 2 of our winter ED Bootcamp, and I just wanted to congratulate many of you guys. One, it's so exciting to see all the people on the call here, and I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of props on here. We're all part of David and Terry's organization, and we did an ED Bootcamp about 2 months ago, and I think collectively we had about 200 people on each week. So we were probably, our group accounted for probably maybe a quarter of that. So we have a ton of people tuning in. I was kind of just checking numbers on that. And it's just so cool to see how many people are with us just while we're doing this one and just our group for this winter season. Terry actually called me up today and was saying, wow, you guys are actually on track. You guys are on track and on pace for starting the most clients that you guys have ever started as an organization. And she's like, that is awesome in the month of November. I'm like, yeah, well, health happens at all times of year. And honestly, we're working with a lot of people that are transforming a lot of lives. Like that's really what's about. And we got a lot of people reaching out and they got a lot of big hearts. So I just want to give you guys that congrats. And also that congrats on consistency. You guys are here right now, which is week 2. And it's the middle of the week, you guys. We're getting close to the holiday season, which we'll cover a little bit tonight. And you guys are making sure to carve out 30 minutes of your day on a Tuesday, because really we'll cover a lot of things in this boot camp. But really the number one thing that we're going to cover is consistency and just showing up every single week and doing the little action steps, because little action steps add up over time. And when you show up each week, you're making a point to tell yourself that this is something that's important to you, something you value, and how you want to help other people in the world around you. Because that's really how we've all became coaches. We saw a need. This changed our lives, and we wanted to help other people with it. So the consistency and all that is huge. So again, if anything kind of really resonates with you, as always, feel free to use the chat box down below. I'd love to see that. But I wanted to, I'm just going to go over the next slide here. This is what this season's all about. We're going to be growing our business. This is an ED boot camp. We're going to be going over a lot of cool things today, but really we're just learning the rhythm and cadence. We've had so many new people join our organization, and really the difference between where we are and our next level and where we're going next and growing a larger business of people getting healthy all over the United States is just by all the little action steps we do every day. So we want to encourage you guys, again, don't judge each day by the harvest, but by how many seeds you plant, because we're just serving people. And that's why week 1, and I'm actually going to unshare my screen real quick. Who here has your guys' map with you? Who's got it all set, ready to rock? Ooh, some people are quick on the draw. This is your number 1 tool for helping change lives. And see, I love that you guys have it. That was one of the first tools that we were going to be working with. I love that many of you guys are fast on the draw with that. So let me get back to sharing my screen. And so that's what we're really focusing on this week. And let me come back to what I was going to share with you. It's been so fun to see this group. I'm just so excited that I get to be surrounded by amazing people with you, like you guys. I love the photos this week in the group, posting your guys' workspace, the maps that were texted over, the guys, your purpose on utilizing them, touching this every single day. I love the people that shared the apps they deleted, because really what we're also focusing on during the season is committing to all the areas that we want to focus on most and building off of the health challenge we're doing. And by all means, the health challenge, we're almost at 3,000 people. Hopefully we'll be at that before we close out. We'll probably take a few more people in the morning, but at the very least, we're close to 3,000 people, and you can see the goals and people tuning in and what it's doing in people's lives. It's been so much fun. So as we move into this week, the thing we learned last week was the first skill set we learned was how to take accountability on our month and use our map, because our map is basically making sure we keep accountability and focus on the people that we're helping so we can integrate them. Accountability on the list of people that have reached out for information so we can love on them and focus on them. The list of people we want to share this with, the people that are moving into, they're naturally paying it forward, because this all doesn't happen on its own. It takes someone to help people move forward on those pieces. So you guys all have your maps. That was perfect, and I'm super excited about that. And then just revisiting the first skill set, which is setting up your map, having it with you daily, and doing the high leverage activities. So our first week's action step is just simple. So we just want to add 5 candidates to our business every single week. If you're doing that, that means you're just loving on as many people possible and getting them started on their health journey. So the first week's goal was to have your map filled out with you and practice taking it with you everywhere you go, because when you just focus on that piece of paper, the people on that paper get to move forward. Starting 2 clients and 1 coach this week. I know a lot of you guys made progress on that, so congrats. Again, just setting up your pace to break down your month on moving the next 5 people forward in the entire month period. And then posting something on Facebook every single day and completing three-way phone calls. And I just got to say, that's one thing we're going to cover tonight. But you guys have been keeping me busy with three-way phone calls. I've had so much fun celebrating with people's health. And that's one of the main building blocks of our business. So if you've got your map and you're focusing on 2 people at a time, moving forward and helping them get started on their health, your next partner, and setting up three-way phone calls, you've got the cadence down of what you need to be focusing on in your business. And I need to get the next slide here. So what we're going to cover this week is one, and always, I'm going to remind you guys about consistency, because it's not normal to remain consistent. That's why we have support. That's why we have buddies. That's why we have this reminder, because it's just a practice. It's a new habit. We're going to go over the map and assessing it on the 10th. Another skill set that I would encourage learning is every single time around the 10th of the month, kind of assessing, where is your month started off at? Where's your energy going? How are you doing? What's your progress check about 1/3 of the way through the month? Where do you want to kind of focus your time at and attention at? The next thing would be, we're going to cover a little about the incentive trip, because that's one thing we're going to make sure you guys all earn. So we all go to San Diego this spring. We're going to go over schedule and flow of your week. That's so vital. And then we're going to go over three-way phone calls and the next step for this week. So that's what I have for you, and that's what I wanted to share. Those are the first few things that we were focusing on. So last week, those are the steps that we learned, focusing on our map, focusing on the next 2 people getting healthy, sharing each day, and looking to start our next coach dripping on those things and doing three-way phone calls. So we're going to cover a little bit of a tips next week on how to support your clients through the holiday season, but I want to kind of give you a heads up on that. As far as also looking at your month on the 10th of the month, there's another reminder. There's a reason why you do it. The back half of this month is a whole holiday. So most people are going to be taking it off. Most people like you guys are probably going to be, having friends, holiday people around, things like that, traveling. So be mindful of how you want to set the pace for your month, because I would really encourage you guys to have your month pretty much wrapped up. All the things that you want to accomplish done around the 22nd, 23rd. So you can just be there, and everything that you do bonus to connect with people during that holiday turkey season when they're going to be thinking of you because they ate too much turkey, they ate too much stuffing. All that is a bonus. So that's what I wanted to kind of remind you, kind of taking a look at your month kind of halfway through and assessing where you're at. So that's one skill set there. And then I'm going to turn it over to actually Amber Newman's going to give us some tips on the incentive trip, because many of you guys have earned it already and some of you guys are really dang close. So Amber, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, I'm going to try to share my screen here. Can you see it there? Brad, can you see it?
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay, thanks. So yeah, thanks for having me on tonight. I did want to talk about this incentive trip. I don't know how many of you even knew that we have an incentive trip. Like, you maybe have seen this little clicker in your office in motion with these points and you had no idea what that means. And so I wanted to share a little bit about that. Sorry, my computer's being weird. Maybe there's something in this. You can see it okay though? Okay, sorry. So I wanted to move on. What it is that, Hotel Del Coronado in San Diego, we will go March 16th to the 20th. So how do you earn it and what do you need to do? Here's the qualification period actually started in July, but we have until January. And so many of you maybe just squeaked into this boot camp, just reaching senior coach. And the exciting news is that you can totally come with us. And so we need to earn 6,000 points for just you yourself to qualify. And then if you wanted to bring a guest with you, we have 7,000 points. And so I just wanted to show you guys tonight how easy it is for this to happen. So here's kind of a quick breakdown. If you're a senior coach already, you probably have acquired some points just by bringing on those first few clients. And so for every 1,200 in volume that you get in clients, you get 100 points. And so if you think that we bring on, our goal, is kind of 5 clients a month, you're easily getting 100 points for the next 3 months. So there's 300 points there. And then as we follow the 5-in-1 plan of sponsoring 5 clients a month, and then we work to identify the coaches in those clients, as we sponsor every 2 coaches that we sponsor that move them forward to getting their first 5 clients, you get 4,500 points. So now we're up to 4,800.
Hey, Amber,
And
are you able
then,
to move your slides forward? Everyone just is seeing the incentive trip photo.
oh, sorry, I was clicked on it. Can you see it now?
Nope. There it
Oh,
is.
okay, we're good?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I'm sorry, yeah, so now we're up to 4,500 points because we brought on 2 health coaches that help their first 5 people, and we get an assist bonus for them. And then if those coaches help their clients and maintain a 310 frontline volume for the next few months, December and January, you get 200 points for each coach per month. So now we're at 800 points. So you're at 5,600 points. And then we all know that this is, right, the ED boot camp. And so our goal over these next few days or next few weeks is to move forward to executive director. And so when you advance to that, you get 500 points, which puts you at 6,100 points. So there you've won the trip. So it's super easy, no matter where you're at in your business, that everybody can do this. And I love that. And I just wanted to give you guys one coach on our team, Wesley Zawani, actually came in, got her cab, and I think her first month started about 10 clients. The next month we met with her, helped her identify the few coaches, candidates in those 10 clients. She sponsored 2 coaches. They each got their cab, so she got the 4,500 points. And then through the blended path, she moved on to executive director, helping the 5 clients again that month, like we do, 5 each month. And she had earned her trip in, like, I think a matter of about 6 weeks. So I just think it's pretty awesome. I just wanted to, share that. And I would love to see all of you guys in San Diego in March. So that's all I had. Next, Susan LaBelle was going to come on and just give us some really tangible steps on what we can work on each day to help move us forward to do this.
And awesome. Before Susan comes on, I'm going to jump on real quick for this for everyone. I mean, you did a great job. And there's a reason why we wanted to hit on this. One, because just by doing the steps, we encouraged everyone this month just to focus on starting their next 5 people, focusing on helping their next 5 people and identifying their one coach, because that's the numbers that Terry showed us. There's generally one person that's ready to pay it forward out of those people. It's just natural for them. And if you just follow these steps, that's basically what Amber showed you. And as we're moving forward, we're going to move. This is a group moving to ED. You guys should all naturally be on that trip just by following this layout. So I just want to give you guys a heads up, but also that we're watching out for you gues. So the steps we're giving you and laying out will land you not only at ED, but land you on that trip. So thank you, Amber, for going over it. So basically, if you sponsor and do your 5-in-1 and help people just move forward, you're on that trip. And we'll help you identify as we keep moving forward. So Susan was actually going to set us up next and kind of give us some tips on how you can add that activity to your week. So Susan, are you there? There you are. I can see you.
Hey. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great. We seem to be
Okay,
having
good.
all kinds of technical activity or, issues tonight. So you know what? We'll just roll with it because that's how we do it.
Okay. Well, I'm in my car again. Last week was soccer party. This week is alumni sorority party. So, but yeah, I mean, and what I'm excited about is I'm actually going to talk on time management tonight and also managing our schedule. So perfect for me to share on that because I knew that this is a rock in my schedule. This boot camp, the healthy huddles, this is part of our own journey. We made this an important part of our life. So because of that, I left early. I found a good little parking spot on the street, got my hotspot set up, and here I am. So it wasn't, hey, Brad, I'm going to be in the car. I can't be on. It's, yeah, I'll make this an important part of my day, and we work around it. So it's about being prepared for what's really important. So with that, I'm going to talk about the balancing act of, learning versus activity. And you can call it time versus activity, busy versus productive. I kind of went back and forth on what I wanted to really call it. But really, we all have a desire, I know, to grow, to learn. We love calls like this, right? Where people are pouring into us. And then there's activity. There's actually the high leverage things that we do that move the dial forward in our, you can see it's fine, kind of that balance. Uh-oh, can you guys hear me? Okay. So which comes first, the learning or the doing, right? So a lot of you are new and you're in this process of, we're hungry, we want to grow, But I really want to encourage you guys to always err on the side of activity. We all come with a different set of time that's allowed to us in our schedule. So some of you guys have 5 hours to put towards this, which is where last week we were really encouraging you, where can you make another 5 hours? Maybe turning off, The Voice and American Idol, or waking up an hour earlier and making more time in your day for something that's important to you. And it's really, kind of that fine balance of what should we be doing in our time. So we're gonna talk a little bit about what are the learning pieces, what should we be plugging into that can be rocks in our schedule, and then really where should we be spending the majority of our time, and what are the activities that really grow our business. Okay, so when it comes to learning and when to do it, it really depends on what you want. So many of you have made the decision you want to grow your business. So hopefully, you're on tonight, the Healthy Huddle. I'm going to share with you the other little key rocks in your business, and then the other activities. But it's really, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to do? I actually decided to drive in an hour of Portland traffic to be here in time, so that I could be on this call. How much time do you have available to you? Again, this looks different for all of us, but it's then being strategic with your time. What are we actually putting our time and energy to? And then what are your skill sets? What are you looking to learn so that you can continue to grow your business? So really, you want to utilize, until you know everything, we're always in a learning process. So, which is forever, right? Which I love that. And so here's what we have available to you that I feel can be rocks in your schedule. And I'm going to share with you kind of like a weekly schedule. Actually, Shannon Howard kind of jumped the gun on this. Good job, Shannon. Sharing on the Bootcamp page earlier this week that she'd set her schedule. So we talked about our workspace, and now it's about setting our weekly schedule. So the leadership call, it's at 6 p.m. Pacific. That's a rock in our schedule. We never miss this. If for chance I do need to miss it, I know I can always listen to it on playback, but that's an important part of our week. We have the Tuesday 20 Healthy Huddle on this boot camp. This is about an hour in the evenings on a Tuesday and a short 20-minute stint on Tuesday mornings. For those of you that's not available, again, everything's recorded and available to you to potentially watch during non-peak hours if someone needs these hours in order to, really, start or develop a client or a coach during these times. We have Brian's 18 call on Saturday morning, which is 8 a.m. Pacific. Again, top leadership, different topics every week. This week, we're going to be having a trilogy presentation during that time. And then our Thursday night trilogy calls, which are really a business growing activity that we can promote and utilize. But again, be on there yourself to, hopefully you'll have guests on there, but also to be learning how to present. Those are those little nuances that you learn, and also to learn the different stories, because our stories are powerful and we can share those with other people, and knowing that we have those recordings always is a tool to send to people. So if I look at the total for these above, these are the people that are in the hunt, they're hungry, they want to know, what should I be plugging into? This is a total of about 3 hours a week. And again, these hours can be flexible. They can be done in maybe non-peak hours, and they can be done while driving and listening in and tuning in. But for those of you that are really wanting to grow, these are the things that we would suggest that you plug into. Now, some of you may only have 5 hours a week to work your business right now, which is where we would encourage you, where can we maybe stretch you a little bit and find another few hours to fit in during the week? What are some things, like I said, what are you willing to give up depending on what your goals are? But if let's say, you only have a handful of hours, it's finding kind of the balance here is not spending 10 hours a week. I have a lot of people that will share, I'm spending a lot of time on Zooms, and this is the rocks. These are the nuggets that we want you to grasp. So that frees up your time so you can spend a lot more time on other things as well. Brad, I know there's someone to mute, and I'm not sure. I'm gonna let you find them. I'm gonna let you hunt them down. So here's the thing, it's your life. I feel like Take Shape is getting so great at letting us know the dates in advance for things like National Convention, Go Global, like our major events. And also, those of you that we haven't really announced it yet, but January 9th is going to be our super regional. There'll be more information coming out about that. But putting those things in schedule, again, working around those major dates of Take Shape for Life. So let's kind of talk about what our weekly plan is. Knowing that we have 3 hours of learning, the rest of our time can go towards activities. So many of you, if you really look at how many hours are in a week, and I'm sorry that number's not quite coming to my head, but I know that when we really kind of figure out how many hours we need to sleep, to eat, to go to work, many of us can find usually about 20, 30 hours we could really put towards this if this was a really important thing for us. But I'm going to show you how in 15 hours a week you can really put in time and intention to grow your business to executive director and beyond. Okay. And if this is something that's important, I'll say I'm so glad that I put that time in. And for me, the cost, the value of what I was getting in return, and for the life that I wanted and desired, it was well worth the investment. And we usually can all find times that we can kind of carve out. So this is a sample sheet, and I apologize that I don't actually, and maybe Brad or Shane, I said as I was running out the door, hey, maybe you can draw something up real quick. We use Google Calendars, and we kind of have everything time blocked into our day. So I guess I could have taken a snapshot of that too. But putting the rocks in your calendar, so what it would look like, and maybe I can share one of these, Brad, on the Bootcamp page so people can see a good visual. And if you're setting up and you have a schedule and the way you set up your schedule, that may be a great thing for you guys to share too, so we can all kind of see how we set things up. But it's making a plan for your week. When are you going to do your client support? What are the training calls that you're going to be on? Maybe what other phone calls that you have set up, your celebration calls, and all your 3-way communication. So here's the high leverage activities that we really want you guys to focus on, the activities that are actually going to grow your business. So we can spend a lot of time getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready. And we can spend a lot of time feeling busy, but not really being productive. And so it's really assessing like, oh, wow, I worked 20 hours this week. Well, how many people did you talk to about program? How many people did you talk to about coaching? And if the answer was 0, it's kind of that gut check of, wow, I'm not really doing the right activity to move the business forward in the way that I want it to move forward. So the 4 things that we do, the activities that we do in Take Shape for Life, are client acquisition and client support, and coach acquisition and coach support. So that's really where our activity should look like. For client acquisition, that's either in sharing, program with people. Some of that will be branding and layering on Facebook too. So being very intentional in your time, and that will be a separate probably topic of conversation, but also doing 3-way calls with your support team. And then your client support, it's really having a designated time that you're going to be doing these. I found that I used to just kind of like let it happen, and they were all throughout the week. So it felt like it took a lot more time. So when I designated a client celebration day, or if it's 2 blocks of time, I was able to actually sit down and focus, because really we're not good multitaskers, and have my client support organized using the Vial system. And I was able to actually support an executive director really and above business in about 2 hours a week. So if your client support's taking a lot longer than that, this is an area to evaluate in kind of, again, reducing your time. Coach acquisition, again, through celebration and I meant to say 3-way candidate calls. And then coach support, we do meet and greets, 3-way calls, maybe AIM calls occasionally with the coach to reset their goals and set their next steps. So it's really kind of designating where your time is going, and maybe you have other rocks in your schedule too that are with your family, and it's kind of working with your spouse, working with your family. Maybe you need a margin of time for, church and personal development in that as well. And those things are also very, very important. But here's the thing, you guys, this is actually all right in front of you. Who kind of picked up on that? So it's like down in your right-hand corner. There's a reason this is there. These are really our high leverage activities. Leading with your health first every day, which everyone in this group is doing. And I'm so inspired by that. Prioritizing your business. Again, determining your rocks for your business. Know your story and be prepared to share it. Are you connecting with people and following up with 5 people a day? I'm telling you, these are high leverage activities. You can put check boxes in there every single day. You're doing the right activities. If you can't, and you're spending a lot of time doing other things outside of the 3 hours from a learning perspective, so that you have the tools and the skill sets to grow your business, it's something to really, really evaluate. I know that some of you have 30 or 40 hours to grow your business. You can 10x this. And I mean, that could be 10, 15 people a day because you have the time. But these are the activities that will grow your business. posting on Facebook daily and commenting and being in people's worlds. This is an area that I find can be very, very, very valuable. And Brad, maybe we'll do a separate social media training, because I find that social media is a huge valuable tool, and it also can be the biggest time waster that we have as well if you're not intentional and having a strategic plan in utilizing your social media. So, but again, very, very high leverage. So I'm going to quickly go through this because I can post this in a document on the page, but just really decide, is this your season? Is this your season to work your plan? Okay. And if so, it's maybe your season to give up a few things for something really, really greater on the other side. Consider what kind of calendar you want to use. Is it a paper calendar? Is it a shared calendar, a family calendar? And then looking at it weekly. Shane and I have little team huddles at the beginning of the week. Hey, what do we have going on? Who has the kids here? Really kind of looking at the business as an integrated family business and all the things that go on in our life. Like cooking a healthy meal is just as important as one of us being on a meet and greet. And so we have to determine who's on, with the tasks that need to happen in order for our family to stay afloat too. And we put those rocks in our calendar. We make those things non-negotiable. And some of those things for us are these boot camps, our client support, our family commitments, church on Sunday. And those are okay things to put in. Decide what those are, and then you fill in all the little pebbles around it. So that means why we say rocks, just to give a visual, is if you had a big glass jar, and if you first filled it all with sand and all the little tiny pebbles, you couldn't get the rocks in there. But if you put the rocks in first, the major things, they'll fit, and then you kind of pour the sand over, and the pebbles kind of flow all in between. So it's kind of finding what are your pebbles and what are your rocks. I find that power hours are great. I wake up early before my kids wake up and the household gets crazy. I brew myself a coffee and I make a plan for my day. What are my high leverage activities? Who am I looking to follow up with? Who am I looking to connect with? And some of you get early morning texts from me because you were on my heart. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. I get them from Brad too sometimes. Organize your client support. I spoke to that. Really multitasking, I find, can be very ineffective. So, especially with your high leverage activities, that's why client support needs to really be dialed down into one block segment or 2 block segment. Use a task list. So I have oh my goodness, I don't have it on me, which is surprising, but Shane, you could embarrassingly show it to everybody, what my list looks like every single day. But I love to cross things off my list. So, I write it down so I just don't lose track, so that if someone asks, here, I'm like, I'm on task and I'm getting things done. I know that many of us want to be available only during the day and during the evenings, but if this is, again, your season, being strategic with it, but being available for evenings to those people that you're looking to move forward, the high leverage activities in your business. So it's not mindlessly surfing on Facebook certain evenings. And again, you might need to make a rock in your schedule to plan a couple family evenings during the week, or at least one to really pour into your kids and your family. But knowing that is part of the flow of what we do. And then look to things that you can delegate out that are not high leverage for you. Do you need a couple focus hours a week? And, do you have a family or friend that you can, have help with your children, or is it yard work? Or, I put Hootsuite here, and I know, gosh, again, a whole nother topic, but Buffer. These are apps that you can fill your Facebook, feed so that they automatically do auto posts for you. I'm not the one to ask a ton about them, but I know those that are using them find them very highly effective and does take a lot off their plate. Different household tests too. So, just consider what you say yes to. So, a lot of us love to volunteer and be involved in a lot of things, and it's a great way sometimes to meet people, but really decide, again, if this is your season, or there's some things that can hold off till later. Maybe it's not the year to become, the president of this club or the president of the PTA. Go be involved, but knowing that this is your season to build this business, and that's what's going to free you up to have another season of being able to pour into other different activities. So just prune your relationships. Really look and evaluate what are things that are fueling you and feeding you, and what are things that are dragging you down. If you leave an environment or a group and you are feeling less fulfilled than when you showed up, or more drained, really evaluate that. It's part of focusing your life around what matters most. So here's growing an ED business in 15. Okay. again, I can post all of this, but really we're talking about 5-in-1ing our business. So new clients a month. If we're talking to 5 people a week, setting our clients up for success, placing their first orders for them, I'm going to put that around 5 hours. We're starting a new coach a month. So we're setting up celebration calls, 3 a week is really the pace that we'd love to see to develop at least a coach a month. If you're doing that, in fact, it might be a lot more than that. But a couple hours there, client support a couple hours, branding and layering, really being intentional, and 20 minutes a day if you choose to do more. That's on your own time. But and then the education for 3 hours, and then personal development. If I'm finding a good book or spiritual development or something that really pours into you, our business will grow as fast as we grow personally. So that's what it kind of looks like in a 15-hour work week. So really work with your support team, you guys, on where you should spend your time. And I really want to encourage you guys, always err on the side of activity. If you're feeling like, I don't know what to do, okay, just go call someone, go follow up with someone. An activity will always take down the walls of fear, and it will always, any sort of disappointment, it always will reverse the coin, because you'll eventually get that yes, and that's what will fuel your fire. So, during this season, just, look to see what things are really important to you. And then remember that your hours are flexible but not negotiable. So super, super excited for this group and what we're creating as we're moving into 2016.
I love that, Susan. Thank you so much for the reminder. You don't realize how much extra time you have. I always love the example of the rocks in the jar. So you set that in there, it's just so easy to get done. So great reminder. That's something that really helped me plant those high leverage activities. I love it. It just comes down to, we use our map, and we just focus on 5 people at a time and touching it every single day. Like Dr. A says, touch your business, touch people every single day. And if you miss a day, just don't miss 2 days, and just keep moving forward. And that's what adds up over time. So we're going to finish up this call with one last topic. We had it on the topic for the Tuesday 20 today. And if you haven't seen it, or if you weren't able to tune in, please watch it. Susan did a phenomenal job. But I'm going to have Don Chow just kind of circle up and just kind of hit on one of the most powerful tools we use to help people move forward. It's going to help your business move forward. That's great. But more importantly, this is how we help people integrate and help them move forward in their health. So Don, would you cover 3-way phone calls and kind of how we can utilize those to help people move forward around us?
Yeah, absolutely, Brad. Thanks for having me on. And dang, you guys are knocking it out of the ballpark. Let me share my screen real quick. And it's going to be so simple. And you guys, what I love is what Susan hit on for those high leverage activities. Did you notice that almost every single step, in fact, I think every single step on that slide involved a 3-way communication or a 3-way call? So what I am going to do is pull this up real quick. All right. I know, super simple slide. And I totally stole it from Susan, because she did an amazing Tuesday 20 call. So we won't go into all the detail that was on that Tuesday 20, because you guys can catch that recording, and it was fabulous. But what I wanted to do is just really expand a little bit on the 3 different kinds of 3-way communication that we have. And really, it's candidate calls, celebration calls, and new coach meet and greets. And so, what I love is that we have a team coaching approach, right? We aren't alone. We're doing this. We have amazing mentorship model. And I utilize every single one of these calls in our business, and the teams that we're working with that utilize these calls are moving forward at a pace that's just not even comparable to some of the teams that maybe aren't utilizing them as much. So it's really an amazing way to accelerate your business, accelerate your reach to people, and really, like Brad was saying, help integrate people into our community. So, there's just something about a third party on there to help edify and celebrate and kind of bring that group atmosphere. So candidate calls. And notice I didn't say it was just a client candidate, or it's really candidate calls. So it'd be client or coach candidate, but really this is where a lot of new coaches spend a lot of their time. This is really about sharing our offering. We're learning skills, because that is a bit of a skill. As you just get started and you're bringing on your first few clients, you guys, you're all senior coaches in here, so you have done probably a lot of these. And just because you have your first 5 or 10 clients even doesn't mean that we stop doing these. I still do them occasionally, and I find when there's a really good fit. So there might be someone who is a great client candidate who I can see a lot of potential in, and they've got a great sphere of influence. I might see that they're a great fit to come on and meet Brad. And so we'll hop on and do that together. And so it's just a really great time to use that to really start from the very get-go layering that team approach and maybe sprinkling the seeds of coaching in there. And, you kind of keep doing these till you bring on your first few coaches. So that's the candidate call. And then the second one is a celebration call. And I loved what Brad said earlier today on the Tuesday 20, because there's always a reason to celebrate, right? It can be anything from celebrating that someone's getting started on program, to celebrating that they hit fat burn on day 5 or 6, to celebrating that they're a week in and down 6 pounds, or that maybe they're 5 months in and they're rocking it, or they've been maintaining for 2 years. So there's always a reason to celebrate, and we can kind of find a reason for anything. And so like we love to celebrate, and they're really like the bomb. So if you're not doing these would be something to really focus. They would be a super high leverage activity, because you can integrate your clients into the kind of community that we have. It's a great opportunity to invite them to a healthy huddle or a Thursday health and hope call. And really it's just an awesome thing to do kind of at any step of the way. I loved that today on the Tuesday 20, Lori really shared some awesome tips on some things she's doing for client celebrations and celebration calls, and in particular, a really great way she's using Facebook and 3-way threads. So, Brad, would it be okay if I invited Lori to come on and just share a little bit about what she's doing and kind of some tips that she shared today on that?
Yeah, I'd love it if she could do that for a second as we wrap up here.
Great.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So we really utilize this a lot in our organization, and it just works so beautifully. The most important thing that I like when we bring on a new client is just establishing trust with them. And I think once we can establish that, then, they're more apt to want to be a little bit more of in our community. And sometimes when we invite them onto a big Zoom call, they can be a little intimidated. So when my coaches first bring on a new client, I like for them to introduce me to them, and introduce them to me, I should say, on a Facebook message thread. And from there, it's just, I want to introduce you to your support team, and then I welcome them and just kind of start establishing that relationship with them and building that trust. And then later, a couple days later, they can just celebrate how well they're doing on their first week in plan, and I'll jump in again and say, I'm so happy for you. I'm super excited. I'd love to do a Zoom call with you and just get to meet you face to face, and just get to learn some great tips from you so we can pass some of those on to some of our other clients. And that has just really been working great. They get to try Zoom for the first time, more on a one-on-one. It's not so scary. And then I, from there, can invite them into joining on some of the trilogy calls and such. So that's been really wonderful. And it's been very successful in integration, because ultimately we want that for our clients. We want them to be successful, and we know that through integration and bringing them our healthy community, they're going to be more successful. And another big thing about doing that is that it shows them how we're different. They're not going to go out there and find this level of support anywhere else. And that's what really makes us unique. So I love to be able to offer that and to welcome them in. So
I love that, Lori. And, I can only imagine as you're celebrating all those clients and at every step of the way, and you're just really edifying those coaches, it's such a natural response to then want to share this. So I can see how, sharing with them about, and I loved what Susan said earlier about, the 4 things that we really like to do on the celebration calls are, integrate them, plug them into that next step of support that might fit for them. So whether it's a call or a huddle or something like that. And then also, talk about the referral program or the pay it forward program. So invite them to do that and connect with them on Facebook. That was one of the things that, Lori, I think you shared earlier, was that when you do a celebration with a newer coach or a coach and a client, you're like, hey, are you on Facebook? I'd love to connect with you there too. And so then you send them a friend request, and then you can follow up in a 3-way message like, hey, it was so great to meet you today. You are rocking it. I am so excited for you. Can't wait to catch up in another couple weeks and hear how you're doing. So that's just really neat to kind of tie a pretty bow around it. So you're really not only integrating, but you've got this great pathway to follow up afterwards and model how our system works and how just amazing our support team is. So I love that. That's so incredible. So the last one on here is a new coach meet and greet. And really, that is because, you guys, we're bringing on a lot of new coaches, especially in this season as we're getting ready for New Year's and it's just amazing. So many people are getting started on their journeys. and just naturally wanting to pay it forward. So the new coach meet and greets are just within the first 24 hours, really to help our new coaches get a successful start, clarify their next steps, celebrate them, welcome them to the community, and just really kind of set them up for success. So usually, if you've got a new coach coming on, expect to be reaching out to your support team, sending a 3-way message and saying, hey, I'm so excited. I have a new coach joining. I'd love to introduce you. And then you hop on. And it's really that opportunity again for your support team to edify you, set the kind of stage for the next steps for that coach. And then you can kind of work with them as they go to senior coach. So I really love this team coaching model, and I'm so excited about it, Brad.
I love it. And you did a great job hitting on that today. And I love what we covered today, everyone. So as we wrap up and put a pretty bow around it, I hope you guys have all learned some really good nuggets today, and just how everyone thinks and little different ways to view your schedule and view the level of activities. But what I love is that it just comes back to just focusing on people every single day, touching your business every single day, and basically just 5-1-ing your business. And show me a business that's doing 3-way phone calls. Show me a business that is on purpose with its time and its schedule. I'll show you someone that's changing a lot of lives. I loved the leadership call last night. I don't know if you guys heard it, but the new global director, Leslie, she said, I let my goals dictate my action, and I wake up every day on purpose. That was her recipe for success, literally focusing on people and waking up every day on purpose. So I thought this would be a really good topic, knowing that we're all set and we have our month navigated out and all the people that we want to be focusing on. And I'll just give you another tip that I love about this. Who else is gathering up on a Tuesday, making a list of people that they just want to lift up throughout the week? I just think that's pretty cool. So just the goodwill that we put out in the world is pretty powerful. So guys, we covered a lot of things today, but this is what I wanted to wrap up and put a pretty bow on it, is we're just basically bringing it back to touching your business every single day, moving people forward, and focusing on helping 5 people a month. You guys did awesome. I saw so many of you guys help more than 2 clients this week. A lot of you guys brought on health coaches. So we broke down these steps so that you can know how to just bite-size move people forward. The rest is in the follow-up and the planting and seeds, and knowing that that's the results you want to see. So congratulations to everyone. That's how we're breaking this down. And those are the people that are moving their business forward because they're utilizing 3-way phone calls. So I want to thank you, Susan, for the reminder of the schedule and the nuggets. Dawn, Lori, thank you for the reminder of the 3-way phone calls. I can't be reminded enough. And Amber, thank you for reminding us how we're all going on a trip and how we're going to achieve it. And it's just literally by following what we're doing here in this boot camp. So this is the tip that I would have for you as we wrap up this week, is grab your schedule and put those rocks in there, the ones that Susan, the calls, and the different things. Basically that high leverage activity in the bottom right of that success tracker, now that we call the map. Do you have 15, 20 minutes set aside each day so you can be lifting up people's lives and just asking yourself, am I connecting with 5 people a day? Am I moving them forward? Am I following up? Because it's so simple if you plan it in your day. The last thing of the tip on that is, you guys might be like, a few of you might be like, I don't have any time left in my day. I'm already busy. You know what? What I do is I wake up a few minutes extra in the morning, plan out my day, and those little nuggets, those spots, they seem to get a lot bigger because I planned out where I'm going to be doing as soon as those moments arise. And then I use 5 minutes at night before I go to bed to figure out, like, what am I going to be doing when I wake up and hit the ground tomorrow morning? So practice that tool. That'll help you get a few more things in there. And basically, I want to finish it up by doing our call to action this week. So as we wrap up here, let me see here. I want to give you guys a heads up that we have a story call with Brian Drollinger this Saturday. So this will be posted in the Bootcamp group. This is an amazing tool, a high leverage activity. When we talked about a short amount of time, you can invite everyone on your list of people you want to get healthy. It's 30 minutes long. It's not a Zoom. It's just a phone call so they can learn it and hear stories of people that transform their health. We're going to have Russ, Jamil, and Joe, Dr. Joe. And you may know these people on the bottom left-hand corner. They're pretty awesome too. They'll be sharing on this. So that's one thing I wanted to give you guys a heads up on. And seems like we're just having a whole night of technical difficulties because I couldn't get my computer to move. This is where I would encourage you guys and where I would funnel all of these steps in. We learned how to run our schedule. We learned basically how to utilize three-way phone calls. So this is where, if you have any short amount of time this week, this is where to plug into and to build on last week. Start your next 2 clients and focus on your next person joining us. That would be the call to action this week. That would be the ultimate goal you have from all of your connections. Practice at least 3 three-way phone calls. And I love Dan Valentine, because one thing he said is when Doug Wood gave him a tip, he's like, that's what you suggest I should do. I'm going to double that and see how that helps me get the results I want to get. And I think Dan Valentine's helped a lot of people over this last year. Have your daily actions, touch that and your map daily, and have your schedule in place. That would be the call to action. Do you have your schedule in place and your rocks in your schedule? And then the last thing would be invite everyone to Brian's call Saturday morning at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. So that's what we have for you this week. I want to thank everyone who shared. I want to congratulate you guys all on the consistency. It's been so fun to watch you guys in the challenge group, and just all the people that are being lifted up from your guys' purpose and just where you guys are moving forward. I think back to last week when Lori and Don and Christy and everyone shared about their lives that have transformed through just moving themselves forward and staying consistent. That's exactly what you guys are doing right now. So congratulations, and let's go have an amazing week. There's also going to be a little bit of a game we're going to play this week, so look out for that in the Bootcamp group, and let's go change a lot of lives. Good night, everybody, and thanks for tuning in.